The Minister of Transportation visited the archipelago and raised issues with the different actors in order to improve the conditions of the airport, the departmental dock, the different roads that are being intervened, and to achieve that San Andres has an automotive diagnostic center.
During the weekend, the Minister of Transportation, Guillermo Francisco Reyes, was meeting with different actors of the island to propose solutions to improve different aspects in the archipelago, who first of all raised 5 topics, as are the airport, the departmental dock, access channel, mobility, and the control tower.
5 major issues have been raised. The first point is the airport. We have agreed to form a committee that will meet next Friday, November 25th, at 9 a.m. at this same location in order to examine 3 major issues. The first has to do with the police and canine that would facilitate the baggage inspection system. The second has to do with the OCRE and personnel at the airport, including Colombia migration. And the third is the issue of the arrangements where there are budgetary commitments from the National Aeronautics.
The high cost of the dock was one of the main issues that the minister addressed, and the need to review its operation, as well as the need to have an access channel.
Segundo tema, el tema del muelle. As second topic, the dock issue has been raised by those who are here, where some concerns have to do with the cost or the dollarization of the dock or the port, the cost of port movement and tariffs. We have heard the positions of the representatives of the Port Society, of the public and private actors, as well as the trade sector on the situation and the need to review some issues related to the functioning and the operation of the place. The third issue is the access channel. The need to review it was raised by the Port Society. It is evident that San Andres needs deep dredging so that vessels with deeper draft can enter.
For the minister, it is a matter of concern that the department does not have an automotive diagnostic center.
Hablamos del tema de movilidad.
We talked about the issue of mobility. We raised 3 issues of concern to the Transit Authority, the Congresswoman, and the actors present here, which is the lack of automotive diagnostic center, the issue of license plates, and the issue of construction licenses. In particular, this issue has already been linked with the Ministry of Transportation, with the Vice Minister, and the commitment is that this week the issue has to be resolved, that San Andres has a diagnostic center to resolve the issue of licenses and license plates this November, at the latest in December.
Last but not least is the issue of the control tower of the airport of San Andres and Old Providence, which is delayed due to the awarding process, but it is expected that in the next few days the issue will be resolved.
The director of the Social State Company spoke about the damages the departmental hospital suffered during the heavy rains that hit the department over the weekend.
Images of a flooded room in the departmental hospital of the island circulated on Saturday while heavy rains fell on our archipelago department. With concerned inhabitants of the island spoke about this event through social network and instant messaging. The director of the hospital did not deny the fact. She explained what happened and stated that they are working so that these situations do not happen again.
There was a detachment of the ceiling of one of the rooms on the 4th floor due to the accumulation of water in a channel that we are cleaning weekly. But since the rains came early in the evening, the accumulation of water caused it to collapse.
Maria Claudia Bracho stated that immediately the area was intervened by the maintenance staff.
Cleaning is being done to make the subsequent repair of that roof. It should be clarified that it was in only one room. However, the 2 rooms following this one were isolated as a precaution to check their roofs to determine that they do not have water, or otherwise to take the respective corrective measures so that there will not be any inconvenience and to continue providing services without any problem.
The leader of the hospital offered the community some reassurance, stating that this event does not affect the care provided on the 4th floor of the hospital, since service in the other areas is being provided without any problem.
For 3 consecutive days, the Colombian Air Force has developed a health brigade called Jornada de Apoyo al Desarrollo, development support there, where doctors of different specialties have attended the island community.
At the Brooks Hill School facilities, the Colombian Air Force conducts a day of support for development where health personnel from specialties such as internal medicine, dermatology, pediatrics, dentistry, nutrition, and psychology attend to the community.
Through its mobilization facility, we have brought medical specialists for the community of Brooks Hill, which is a sector of difficult access to health, and we have brought medical specialists in the areas of internal medicine, gynecology, endocrinology, dermatology, orthopedics, and family medicine. With this, we have attempted to have an impact on health. We have attended 1,200 people, children and adults, plus recreational activities for the community. This has been achieved thanks to the collaboration of the Commander of the Air Force, Luis Carlos Cordova, the Commander of the Caribbean Air Group, Ricardo Alfonso Galan, and the collaboration of the Navy through Mr. Octavio Gutierrez.
The Colombian Air Force will continue with the health brigades in the archipelago for next year, where they will visit the municipality of Old Providence.
And the seminar entitled Archives of the Memory will be last big activity of the Cultural Center of the Bank of the Republic, where it seeks to rescue the voices in the archipelago with a citizen training activity.
The Cultural Center of the Bank of the Republic and the National Center of Historical Memory invite the community to participate in a series of workshops that have a training component and confirmation of the documentary collections and preventive and corrective measures for the preservation of the achieved. The general objective of the activity seeks to provide a training space in which participants learn about the importance and interest of historical memory as a pedagogical tool in the community.
From the 22nd of November until the 24th, we will have some professionals that are coming from the Centro Nacional de Memoria Histórica. We want to talk about preservation of our archives in the island. So every professional that has to do with this in the different entities of the island, Gobernación, OCRE, Fiscalía, all public entities are welcome to join us. Apart from these professionals, we are inviting all the academics and researchers in the island who will find in these resources precisely your sources of information for investigation.
The activity directed by the National Center of Historical Memory will be moderated by its officials and especially aimed at archivists of the archipelago, interested professionals, the academic community, and researchers in general who will be able to find sources of information at the activity. The seminar, which will be held in several sessions, will be held in the auditorium of the Cultural Center of the Bank of the Republic. For further information, interested parties may contact the following email address: astilmi@banrep.gov.co.
In dialogue with Teleislas News, lawyer Sergio Estrada, who was a special guest at the commemoration of 10 years of indignation since the ruling of The Hague of 2012, referred to the works that have been carried out to strengthen the Colombian defense against the International Court of Justice.
In the framework of the 10 years of the racial indignation, the lawyer Sergio Estrada was invited to the department to participate in the event that was to be held on Saturday, November 19. But due to the heavy rains in the department, it could not take place. However, in an interview with Teleislas News, the lawyer spoke about the impacts that this decision of The Hague has had on the insular territory and the challenges that we racial people face on a daily basis.
We have some quite complex events, widely reported and recorded through academic studies conducted by the National University, which end in the neglect, let's say the lack of diligence of that central institutionality against the care, respect for ethnic peoples, and completely the racial people of San Andres.
According to Estrada, in Colombia's defense before The Hague, one of the most important details or inputs of the process was the inclusion of the racial people and fishermen, who are the ones who feel the consequences of the ruling on a daily basis.
These dates should always be to vindicate and continue fighting for the recognition of the racial ethnic people. Basically, it caught a lot of attention when the sentence came out. Making a small summary, Between new castes and new castes, how the opinion of a continental San Andrean or Panya is very different from the opinion of a Raizal ethnic people. The first one worried about the loss of the territorial sea, but the second one worried about his subsistence. It is that difference of opinions.
Although the court decision cannot be overturned, Estrada agrees that it is important to continue with the work being done at the local level to make the territory visible and make people's rights known.
Although it is difficult, I believe that this cannot be an impediment to continue insisting on the defense of the human rights of the Raizal ethnic people. For example, there is a very important debt, that is the Raizal ethnic statute that recognizes certain rights, and we must also begin to demand reparation actions.
Sergio Estrada Vélez is a Laya University professor and the director of the Center University of the Constitutional Studies.
Now let's learn about other events that are making news in our brief news section of today.
The annual Summit of Governors organized by the National Federation of Departments was held in the city of Barranquilla. During the meeting, the road routes for 2023 were presented. Likewise, the socialization of the institutional strategic plan for the Comptroller General's Office 2022-2023 and the results of the #Compromiso por Colombia strategy. The local governors also requested aid to address the rainy season and the damages that have originated. The department's homeless and street dwellers, with the support of the Health and Social Development Secretariat, received medical attention as part of the Health Brigade organized by the Colombian Air Force, where they received checkups in specialties such as internal medicine, dermatology, pediatrics, dentistry, nutrition, psychology, and were also provided with hygiene and food. This November 21st, the Great Animal Welfare Event will be held at the Departmental Wildlife Shelter. The official launching and implementation of the Mobile Animal Unit, Animal Savers, which will be responsible for veterinary care, sterilizations, animal rescue, among other home services to animals on the island. This work will be between the Secretariat of Public Services and the operator of the departmental shelter, the Jose Antonio Nariño Foundation.
With this information, we reach to the end of this broadcast, but we see you tonight at 8 p.m. with more of Teleislas News. Good afternoon.